The most significant, by far, political event ever to unfold in the country called Kenya since the year 1992. You see, in 1992, the previously reluctant Moi regime reverted back to multi-party politics. That was very significant politically, because amongst other things, it still impacts us today. But there's this very latest, very significant development. And today, I know you're going to accuse me of exaggeration, but I am not exaggerating. What am I talking about? The launch of Okiya Omtatah's brand new political party. Oh, that is significant. Reke, restoration, and then the most interesting word of all used, reset. Why do I call it the most significant? Why am I sure that this party will have a major impact? And yet politics is so unpredictable. Well, I will answer those questions on my show today in great detail. You see, in my view, most people analyzing Kenyan politics right now are a bit confused. And the rest are trying very hard to fit the current very different politics into the old style of analyzing. Tribal groupings. Which kingpin has joined which alliance? That kind of thing. Which I'm sure many of us have realized imepitwa na wakati. Of course, I'm aware of what the old guard are saying. Chris, how else can you analyze politics? You tell me, how else? The only way is to get a kingpin to rally the group together. And the political grouping that gets a kingpin that can rally most of the Gen Z votes behind them, that grouping will win the general elections very early in the morning. I'm aware of all those arguments. But you see, the biggest problem with those arguments is that they defy human nature. They defy human emotions. Okay? And these are key in politics. I have no idea why most of us forget that at the end of the day, the candidate that carries the day is the one the voters liked. Period. I don't know if you forget that. Let us back up a little. And experts have told us this for decades. Do you know how you make the decision to buy product B instead of product A? Do you really know the real reason? How your mind works? How my mind works? Let me remind you that you make the decision emotionally first. And then you look for the logical reasons why product B is better than A. But first of all, you must like product B. Okay? And it is the same in politics. And of course, this is the very same way that Kenyans have always voted tribally for their candidate from their tribe. They like that candidate, okay, is from their tribe, and then now they seek the logic why they want to vote for them. Okay? Although in Kenya, a lot of our voters don't even want to give you the reason. They just simply want to vote for that candidate. Okay? On tribal lines. Now, a lot has changed in Kenya since President William Samoei Ruto came into power. I think we agree on that. Now, these changes have brought about a drastic change in the way the emotions of Kenyans work. And let me keep it simple. I know that we have some very brilliant people who take in this channel. Respected professors in their fields, yeah, real ones, who are mostly in the political class. And that is why I will ask you to forgive me for keeping this very simple. I'm not insulting your intelligence. All I'm doing is ensuring that all of us get it. We are talking about how the emotions of Kenyans have changed so dramatically, politically speaking, since Ruto came into power. Now, we're all human. And we know one thing for a fact. Humans never ever forgive, yeah, people who take away something from them. I think we agree on that. Although we are supposed to forgive. We must forgive, according to the good book. And so people find it very difficult to forgive people who have taken away something from them. For example, your wife taken away from you. Your husband taken away from you. Now the person who takes away that from you, you know the emotion. But believe it or not, there is something worse you can do that people will find it even more difficult to forgive you. Touch their money. Touch their money. And especially if some of the consequences is that their beloved children, their loved ones, go without something, including food. Those people will find it impossible to forget. Now, isn't that exactly what the regime of William Samoei Ruto has taken away from Kenyans? Now let's get serious. Do you believe that Kenyans will forget that and go back to voting along tribal lines? Do you seriously think that will happen? And that is precisely the reason why, even if the current regime prints all the money in the world and distributes everything to Kenyans, gives every Kenyan 1 million Kenya shillings, every single adult Kenya gets 1 million shillings, they will still not win the election. That is how serious it is. Don't joke with human emotion. This thing is very serious. Back to this brand new party. Okiya Omtatah is the first politician to acknowledge the reality on the ground, which we have just talked about, and then take action. In other words, what Okiya Omtatah has done, he has looked for a wave, and then he has established his party at the top of that wave. And this wave is very strong, my friends. Oh, it is so strong it cannot be ignored. Kenyans want change. Kenyans want restoration. Kenyans want a reset. All you have to do is to convince Kenyans that you can actually bring about change, and you'll win the next elections very early in the morning. Guaranteed. Okay? Why? Because human emotions, human nature never changes. Now, according to this dear beloved Kenyans of ours, who are still analyzing a train that left the station a long time ago, they are very concerned that we do not have too many presidential candidates. And I keep on seeing this again and again and again in so many analysis, even in posts on social media by people discussing politics. And again I return to where we started. The candidate who will win those elections, the first thing is that Kenyans have to like them. Okay? And based on our current very painful circumstances, Kenyans will like the candidate they are sure will bring about change, so that the pain we have gone through, we will never go through again. It's as simple as that. And so let 1,000 candidates run. The same principle applies. Yeah? 999 of those candidates will get few or no votes. And one candidate, the ones that the voters like, will win by a landslide. And so please stop firing barbs at Okiya Omtatah. Stop firing barbs at the most political development in our politics in a very, very long time. But there is something else Okiya Omtatah needs to do, the Busia senator, that is very important that I want to mention. Yeah? And this is my opinion. Okay? You're welcome to yours. It is very important for a presidential ticket to have something called charisma. They must be attractive to the voters. When a wise man is choosing a wife, he looks for certain qualities. But then, you must also be attractive. I hope I've gotten my point across clearly. And so, my advice is that Okiya Omtatah chooses his running mate very, very carefully. It is important that they are as politically attractive as possible. Now, having said that, it is also true that in the past, sometimes voters are so fed up and they are so desperate for change that they don't care about the personal charisma of a presidential candidate. I will give you a very good example. After the Watergate scandal of the early 70s, American voters were so fed up with corruption and they wanted change. They wanted to reset their politics. And there was this lucky politician who was at the right place at the right time. His name was Jimmy Carter. Bwana Carter was a peanut farmer. He was not the sort of candidate who would charge up a crowd, not the sort of candidate that would cause people to scream uncontrollably. No, he wasn't. But Americans were so fed up with corruption that they voted in Jimmy Carter. What happened? The guy had a very difficult time running the country. And in the end, when he faced a very charismatic politician called Ronald Reagan, he had no chance. He did not stand a chance in his wildest dreams. And charisma won once again. It is very important that nobody gets me wrong. I am not campaigning for Okiya Omtatah. No. I am simply analyzing his political move. And what I am saying is that it is not only smart, it is perfect for the current emotions of the Kenyan voter. It is perfect for the current situation on the ground. That is all I'm saying. If tomorrow another candidate comes along and they do the same, I will do another video, especially if that particular candidate is bound to have an impact. Right. There is one more very important point about this brand new political party I want us to touch on. There is this issue that is going to be very, very major in the next elections. And it has to do with financing from foreign powers. Now, it is not a secret that Okiya Omtatah has been working for many, many years with donors. It's not a secret. And obviously, those who want to shoot down his candidacy are going to list this as the number one reason why Okiya Omtatah atoshi mboga. Now, for the sake of us who are constantly fighting for a better Kenya, this is the information you need to have. Okiya Omtatah is different in that his approach has been to have a cause in the first place and then find the donors to support it. Unfortunately, a vast majority of the others go out there and they ask the question, where are donors putting their money? And when they have answered that question, they shoot proposals to those donors who are pouring a lot of money into a certain area. And it is not too difficult to be able to tell the difference. One of the many ways is to be wary of NGOs that have grown fat and rich. You will notice Okiya Omtatah has not grown fat and rich. Okay? Allow me to leave it there for now. Now, we're in the period of Lala Salama, the absolute last chance for you to get my highly sensitive special report, which is linked to many things which are unfolding in Kenyan politics right now. Something which many people have ignored, but it is also very sensitive. Yeah, and that's why it is in a sensitive special report. You can see details on your screens right now about this very latest and the last special offer that is available. For only Kenya shillings 2,999, you can not only have this very important, in my opinion, special report, but you'll also be able to take in all the other previous special reports that you may have missed. Please take quick action. This is the absolute last 24 hours. In the last video I said 36 hours left. Now this is the absolute last 24 hours remaining. So please move quickly to avoid being disappointed. I continue to thank all of you who are flocked in to gift me over Kumekucha's 20 great years birthday. Okay? And this is also coming to an end soon. And of course I'm going to announce those 20 lucky winners who will get everything Kumekucha for free forever. Past, present, and even future special reports, WABs, everything. You can see details on your screens right now on how to send your gift. And please don't forget to text me your email address immediately after, so that you're considered for these 20 people who will have a super special pass. Asanteni sana for making this Kumekucha birthday very special. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.